Alright, so today I'm back with another Blue Lock leak video, and today we will go over chapter 310. Now this chapter is insane, as we see Nagi and Igarashi having a really deep talk, which leads to a bit of a fight. However, it also leads to Nagi realizing something crucial, but I don't want to say too much, so you will just have to sit back and watch to find out what happens. Anyway, before jumping into it, please leave a like and a comment, as well as join the Discord server, and subscribe to my other channels down in the description for more anime and manga content. And with that out of the way, let's get into it. Also, if you want to check out the leaks for yourself, then I will put a link down in the comments where you can look at them. Alright, we start with the text saying, "The two who were taken out into the city by Igarashi's suggestion." We then see Nagi and Igarashi, as the text said, starting to walk towards the city. Igarashi tells Nagi that he went to his school looking for him. However, when he couldn't find him, he asked one of his classmates, who said that Nagi always hangs out in the arcade. Igarashi then smiles and tells Nagi that he found him after a while. Nagi just looks at him confused and wonders what he is on. They then go to a park, and Nagi has a smug expression as he tells Igarashi that he's become a suspicious guy. Igarashi gets a bit annoyed and tells Nagi that he just came to see him and that it's everything. Nagi then sits down and asks Igarashi what it is that he really wants, and calls him Mr. Stalker. Igarashi casually just says Nagi's name before he asks him what he will do about football. Nagi is a bit caught off by the question, and explains that he hasn't yet decided. Igarashi says that he figured that Nagi was that kind of guy. Nagi just asks Igarashi what's up with this whole "I understand Nagi" vibe. Igarashi then sits on a little panda thing, which I found was cool, as pandas are my favorite animals. Anyway, as Igarashi sits down, he tells Nagi to continue playing football. Nagi asks if that means that Igarashi agrees with Isagi. Igarashi says that he doesn't, telling him that it's his own selfish ego because he got eliminated alongside Nagi back there. He looks towards Nagi, and at the moment that he had realized that he had lost, he asks Nagi how he felt at that time. Nagi, however, tells him that he really didn't feel anything and that it was just fate, really. Igarashi, with a really anime villain aura, says that he sees. He then looks towards the sky and says that he was frustrated for sure, but he was also happy. As Nagi hears that he is super confused, Igarashi continues and says that because he got to chase his dream of becoming a pro soccer player, no matter the result, he was proud just to be able to be right on that stage. He had fulfilled that dream. Saying that, to borrow Igo's words, it was simply enough for him, getting to try and fulfill his dream. This leads Igarashi to ask Nagi if he is also satisfied. Nagi, however, tells him that even if you aren't satisfied, there are still things you have to give up on sometimes. Igarashi can't take that and tells him that he is wrong and that there are no limits to dreams. Igarashi gets up and says that what lies in a dream is just the size of the vessel, explaining that the dream that he had to become a pro was a big enough vessel for him to bet his life on, but for the vessel called to be the best in the world, it is too small, so that's why Igarashi felt satisfied when he left Blue Lock. Igarashi then walks back to Nagi and tells him that he is different because he is not satisfied at all after all. He tells Nagi not to get all fired up and calls him a genius, telling him that there are some dreams in this world that he's just not supposed to have. Igarashi then just laughs and tells Nagi that he came here to tell him this. It then gets dark around Nagi as he says Igarashi's name. It then looks like Nagi told Igarashi about everything with Buratsuta. Hey, it's Natsu mid-editing here, and I just wanted to pause the video to ask you to subscribe if you haven't already, and while you're already down there, why not leave a like as well? Igarashi is then completely caught off guard by this, and is amazed that he got scouted by him to join the U20 team through some secret route. Nagi says, yeah, but it doesn't make any sense. Igarashi then legitimately screams and calls him a shady old man. He then starts to wonder why he didn't come to Igarashi, which is quite funny, and he is angry about it. Nagi then tells Igarashi that in the end, he turned down Buratsuta. Igarashi can't believe this and asks him why. Nagi explains that he doesn't want to crush Blue Lock, and after all that they have done, he just can't betray them. Igarashi is surprised, but asks him if that's the only reason, and Nagi says that it is. Igarashi then just looks at Nagi while looking both annoyed and confused, as he asks Nagi what he is saying, telling him that he is the one betraying Blue Lock more than anyone in the world. However, Nagi doesn't understand a thing of what Igarashi is trying to say. Igarashi tells him to really think about it. He tells Nagi that he made that pass at the very last moment and lost, telling him that becoming the world's best striker and what Nagi did was the opposite of that idea. And now, all of a sudden he is saying that he can't betray it, asking Nagi with his mouth if he is saying that, which is a saying that I have never heard before. but alright. He tells Nagi that the more he talks, the more pissed off Igarashi gets. Nagi then asks Igarashi that if he would have absolute faith in Blue Lock, would he still be having these doubts? Igarashi just screams at Nagi that he is lame. He continues and tells Nagi that it's so pathetic and that Igarashi can't believe that Nagi had the nerve to come back. Nagi then looks sad and says that it's right. Igarashi continues and tells him that if his dream is so weak that he would give it up just because of what others think, then he should just quit already. Nagi looks at him angrily and asks him if he is picking a fight. Igarashi just laughs and says that he is. Igarashi tells Nagi that his parents were against his dream, so when he joined Blue Lock, he left home prepared and fully resolved, saying that it was to either work at a temple for the rest of his life if he lost, or become a pro at soccer, telling Nagi that he put his dreams and risks on the scales. Igarashi explains that he fought with what he thought was focused determination on his dream, screaming at Nagi that humans can only truly commit when their intent and precision are perfectly balanced, asking Nagi what the hell it is that he is doing, then telling him that he can't even say what it is that he wants to win. Nagi just looks shocked as he hears Igarashi going off on himself. However, Igarashi is far from done as he tells Nagi that he lost because he never thought about what would happen if his dreams didn't come true, also asking Nagi why it is him and not Igarashi. Igarashi gets close to Nagi and pulls him by his shirt and screams at him that if he had Nagi's talent, then he would aim to be the best in the world no matter how lame or painful it was for him. Both of them look at each other a bit in shock before Igarashi lets go of him and apologizes and says that it's Nagi's life after all and that he has no right to interfere. Nagi then picks up Igarashi's cap from the ground, which fell off him while he says Igarashi's name. Nagi then puts the cap on Igarashi's head before thanking him for coming to see Nagi, also telling Igarashi that he will become a good monk, which, I mean, is a nice thing. However, I don't know if it will make Igarashi happy, as we have seen how much he doesn't want to be one. Anyway, Igarashi is then understandably very confused. Igarashi then says that he's going to become a soccer player before saying no way, and that he will become a monk. He then sees that Nagi is starting to leave, so he tells him that they aren't done talking and asks Nagi where he's going off to. Nagi just waves him by and tells him that he has had enough. Igarashi, still just confused, doesn't know what to say. However, Nagi tells him that they should meet later and that he is starting to feel fired up. He then looks completely insane, as he has an insane aura all around himself, looking pumped up to the max. It then says that there are 2 days until the U20 World Cup, and the ending text says, "A move from the past reignites a fire in someone's heart. The revived genius won't stop." Also, there's no break next week, which is just insane. Like the authors are really going insane, like they are on fire right now. Anyway, the next chapter will be called Side B. Now, I actually have legit no idea what that could mean, but if you have any ideas, then please leave them down in the comments. Now let's just talk about this insane chapter. Now firstly, I want to apologize to none other than the monk. This chapter has changed my whole thoughts about Igarashi, and I really like him now. Yes, I know it's a bit late, however he really shined in this chapter, and I will probably make a whole dedicated video just talking about what Igarashi said in this chapter, because he was really on some Shakespeare things here. Anyway, now it's quite interesting that there are only 2 days left until the U20 World Cup, as it probably means that we won't get to see the training arc in Blue Lock, which is a shame, but hopefully in some sort of flashback maybe. Also, I think that it's pretty obvious that Nagi will somehow get back into the Blue Lock 3 and play in the U20 World Cup. Like there would be absolutely no reason to show Nagi chapter after chapter if he wasn't going to participate. And honestly, I think that he will go absolutely crazy. Like, in the last panel, we saw him looking super cool, and I feel like Igarashi's words really touched him deep and made him realize just how much of a golden opportunity he really has right in front of him. However, let me know what you think will happen to the boy Nagi. Now, as I basically destroy my sleep schedule to be able to get to these leaks, I will end this video right here, as it's like 7 AM. However, it's all worth it, so don't worry. Anyway, if you like Blue Lock and videos like this, then I would highly suggest you subscribe to this channel, and while you are at it, leave a comment and a like, as it helps out with the algorithm a ton. And if you are curious to see another video of mine, then please watch the video, which will be popping up on the screen now. Anyway, thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye.